Pittsburgh was definitely a team that I think surprised most of us last season. They ended up going to the ACC championship game, and it was overall a pretty good team for the or a pretty good. It was a pretty good year for this team. They ended up going 7-7, made it to a decent bowl game. But how are they going to do in 2019? That is what we're going to be going over today. Pitt's schedule preview. We're going to be going over a few players that this team will be losing, who they're going to be returning. Also, we're going to be looking at their schedule for the first time this offseason. Once again, went 7-7 last year. They went to the ACC championship game against Clemson. They lose a lot of impactful players, though, this season. It'll be interesting to see how they do. They lose Olsen and Aston, one wide receiver. So that is something to note there. They lose 4 offensive linemen, 2 defensive linemen, 2 linebackers, and 1 safety. Those are, especially on offense, I mean, losing, I believe, what is that, 7? Yeah, they lose 7 starters on offense. That is really going to be a pain. Then you're losing 5 on defense. So you got more of the high end on losses. They'll be a pretty young team next season. So it's tough to say how similar 2019 will be to 2018. I don't expect them to make the ACC championship game again, just because of their losses. But I do expect them to make a bowl game. I would not be surprised to see them make it to 6 wins, but I don't expect them to make it much further than that. Here's how their schedule looks next season. You got Virginia, Ohio, Penn State, and UCF. So really your non-conference games are also difficult. I mean, with Ohio, and you got Penn State, UCF, Delaware. Those all are pretty difficult, except for Delaware. I think Delaware probably will be their easiest one, especially since it's at home. But against UCF at home and at Penn State, those games will probably be more difficult, especially that Penn State one, just because it's going to be on the road, and that's an old rivalry game. We saw that last season when Pittsburgh was at home against Penn State. That was an interesting one. And then once you get past those non-conference games, you got Duke, Syracuse, Miami, Georgia Tech, North Carolina, Virginia Tech, and Boston College. In November you do have a bye week in there, so that will help you once you get down to that part of the season. But once again, their ACC conference schedule isn't terrible. At least you don't have to play Clemson, but it still will be difficult nonetheless. Here's kind of what I'm expecting. I think Ohio, Delaware, and North Carolina are probably your easiest wins. Those 3, I think they should take care of pretty easily. I do expect them to win one more on this schedule that is in white pretty easily. I would expect them almost to win possibly 2 and 3. If you want a more definite, for my estimation as to the record, once again, being so early on in the offseason, it's tough to give you guys a very definite answers to the record. I mean, we still are like six months away from the season beginning. And so, I mean, to be able to say like whether you're going to win one game or another, it's tough to say just because you never know when an injury could happen. I mean, one injury can totally affect an entire season. Like if your quarterback gets injured, tears an ACL or something, then that can easily throw off your season. But yeah, definitely I say your estimated record for next season, if you're a Pitt fan, is between 6 and 7 wins. That's about it for Pitt's schedule preview. Let me know your guys' thoughts on this team in the comments below. I'd like to hear what you guys think. It should be an interesting team next year, especially in the ACC. Once again, I do expect them to make a run for the ACC championship, but I just don't expect them to make it. We're going over the ACC and schedule previews right now. We still have, I believe, 2 or 3 more. Stay tuned for those. Once again, you guys, thank you all for watching, and I will see you later.